Hi, thank you so much for jumping on today. Bridget Burns with the University Innovation Alliance. But today I have a fantastic guest that I've been waiting for a long time to be able to bring on. And she's an expert in a variety of things that touch kind of everything that we do. And I'm so excited that we get to hear from her. The organization is the Institute for Higher Education Policy, and it is one of my favorite people in higher ed. It is Dr. Michelle Asha Cooper. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So I'm delighted to be able to do this virtually. So for those who don't know who IHEP is, and they're trying to kind of like, when should I talk to IHEP or not? Can you give kind of the like basic primer?
Yeah, sure. So IHEP is a policy, research, and advocacy organization, and we are located in Washington, D.C. But even though we're located here in D.C., we focus on issues that are national, but also things that have an impact on states and institutions all across this country. Most of our issues are dealing with issues of college access, college success, and affordability. And we've been around since 1993. And since then, we have always focused on looking at the student and what the students need, as well as looking at policy and how we can use policy as a leverage for change. So that's in a nutshell what we do. We're all about students. We're trying to make sure that we don't leave students behind, that we're not shortchanging them, and that we are not further putting them in the underserved category.
Awesome. Perfect. On point. So if I'm an institution, when would I reach out to you? Because you talk to policymakers, you talk to everyone, and you provide resources and support for, it seems like, the whole gamut of higher education. And IHEP has been a national leader for quite some time. So if an institution reached out to you, what kind of a request would they give?
So, the thing about institutions, we focus on policy and practice. So we have a big angle here that looks at practice, because we believe that good practice should be informing good policy and not the other way around. So we are always in connection with practitioners, trying to learn from them about what it is they're doing, what it is that they're seeing with their students, because these are people who I often call the first responders. They are working with students day in and day out. They see the trends, they know what's happening. And so we want to learn from them and work with them to make sure that the policies that we are putting in place at the federal, state, and institutional levels are all going to be things that are grounded and rooted in real practice for real students and can really have a widespread impact and change.
That sounds all very admirable and good, and I'm excited that you're doing that work. So for those of you who don't know, Michelle is actually a partner with UIA and a variety of other partners that we've brought on here through something called the Scaling Partners, which is the Gates grantees. They put us in a room so that we become friends, and then we come up with ideas and schemes together about how the national landscape could actually, folks in the field, we can lead in a new way. So it's been delightful for me to get to experience spending time and learning with Michelle about IHEP, and also seeing how much IHEP works with basically everyone out in the field. I mean, like, everyone I talk to is somehow partnering or connected in some way at IHEP. So I feel like
and that's great. We love it.
Well, good. So what's something, we work with innovative universities, but which I'm sure you do as well. And I'm curious about if an institution's trying to know kind of, am I really focusing on the most kind of cutting edge topics when it comes to data, when it comes to thinking about things through the eyes of the student? What are the things that for you are top of mind and indicate an institution is really thinking about the right stuff or focused on something that's kind of more future faced?
Yeah, so I give two things. So the first is we do think that data and having evidence-based, data-informed decision-making is really crucial and important at all levels of institutional decision-making. So we talk to institutions, we talk to institutional leaders all the time about really the importance of just knowing your numbers, knowing the numbers that undergird students and student success at your campus, and not being afraid to address the realities that those numbers might showcase. We believe just how knowing your numbers is a really important part of just overall health and well-being. When you go to the doctor, the first thing they do is get your numbers, your weight, your blood pressure, your temperature, and they use those things as a marker for assessing your health. Like, we believe that the same thing is important with numbers in the context of an institution. It's an important marker of your baseline. It helps you mark progress, and it's an overall indicator of institutional health. So knowing your numbers is critical. The second thing that I think is really, really important, and something that we see the most innovative institutional leaders focusing on right now, is really related to equity. And when I say equity, I'm not talking about diversity. I'm not talking about equality. I think those words are often used synonymously, and they mean different things. Equity is really about looking at those systemic barriers that have impeded progress at our institutions, often for years. And if we really want to make any type of change, if we really want to see the needle move and see outcomes change for all students, we've got to focus on equity. And we've got to realize that equity is not just disaggregating data. That certainly is an important first step, but that's not the only thing. It's really about uncovering what the data shows us and then working to address those systemic issues that have impeded progress on our campuses for such a long time.
Great. Okay, so I have another question. Are there frequently examples that pop up to you of institutions just kind of not understanding a particular metric, or they're focusing on the wrong metric? Like, I mean, for me, I hear a lot of campuses only solely focus on the 4-year graduation rate. And I'm kind of like, that's interesting, and it's a number. It is not the only number, and it's certainly not broken out enough. Is there any particular topic that for you see institutions misunderstand or get it wrong, that you kind of wish you could wave a magic wand and kind of like, hey, actually focus on this thing?
Yeah, I think that, metrics are really important. And one of the metrics that we want people to focus on is certainly those outcome metrics that look at things like graduation, completion, retention, post-graduation outcomes like workforce issues. And, when we are looking at the national data infrastructure, for example, many of the data that we rely on at the national level really don't count those outcomes very well, because they are often looking at first-time, full-time students. But at the institutional level, institutional leaders actually have their own data, and they can use that data very well. And so we encourage institutional leaders to look at all aspects of your institution, while also helping us at the federal level to make sure that the data systems that we have on the national scene really work well for everyone, and that we're counting all students and counting all outcomes. But we believe that you've got to look at the totality of the student and the student experience. And right now, with so many of our students today being students who come to our institutions through non-traditional routes, like they come full-time, they work, they come part-time, and they work full-time. We want to make sure that we're tracking those students, and that we can really help them get to and through our institutions in the most advantageous way. I think another outcome metric that we need to be looking at is really students who we sometimes have called dropouts, but they're really stopouts. At least that's how we refer to them here at IHEP. And there are 35 million Americans who now have some college and no degree, who fall in this stop-out category. And we want to work with institutional leaders that really want to figure out ways and strategies to re-engage this population and bring them back to campus to get those degrees that they have made progress towards starting, and in some cases are really close to the finish line. And we have an effort here called Degrees When Due that's working in 20 states with about 150 institutions on efforts and strategies to really help to re-engage adults and to work with reverse transfer at the institutional levels.
If institutions want to join Degrees When Due, is that a limited thing, or could people just reach out, or is it already set?
Yeah, no, call us.
Okay. Because
we would be glad to have more involved. And we're really, we're now launching our second cohort, and that's why we have these good outcomes in terms of numbers. We have 20 states, like I mentioned, but there's certainly room for more. And the lessons that we are learning in real time, we hope to share with everyone who's interested.
That's awesome. Because institutions are getting messages on a daily basis now that the enrollment pipeline is drying up. and it's going to become more competitive. That recent decision to make it so that the institutions can compete for students past the March deadline. There's all these little moves that are kind of defensive plays, but the offensive play is reimagining your institution through the eyes of the some college, no degree.
Absolutely.
You have the pipeline of how you bring them back. There are companies that are coming out and actually helping find students there, but the institutions who are going to be fine as things go on in the future, as we see this enrollment pipeline shift, are going to be the ones who are involved in this kind of effort, who are really reimagining things proactively instead of, as you're trying to deck chairs on the Titanic.
That's right. Completely agree.
Okay, so we're in the same page. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so last two questions. You have a massive job. I know because I have seen that you're working with everyone on all kinds of things, and you're doing all kinds of cool stuff. Do you have any tips or tricks that help you survive this kind of a job that's just super overwhelming? I mean, most people can't get through their inbox. Always looking for tips and tricks that help people survive, that our listeners could use to help them with the overwhelm.
So look, I sometimes have trouble getting through my inbox too. So I want to be honest about that. But I do think on an optimal day, I have a morning routine that starts very, very early in the morning. I'm an early riser. I believe in getting up before the sun rises. And, I feel like it's a really good time of day to just plan, prepare, pray, meditate, exercise. And it just helps me set the tone for a good day. So whenever I'm able to do that morning ritual and get up and get those things done early in the morning and just think and clear my head, it's usually going to be a good day. Now, I don't get to do that every day. And so on those days that I don't get to do that, I have just learned that you just can't sweat the small stuff. The work that we're doing is really important work. And, we just can't get bogged down in the minutia of it. And sometimes some of the things that I think are distractions can really overwhelm us in unfortunate ways. And I have just made a commitment to myself and my team that I'm not going to sweat the small stuff, and I'm going to stay focused on the bigger picture. And hopefully we can all achieve some really good outcomes because of that.
Love it. Yes, I'm the same way. I don't know what time. I get up at 5:30 and I'm trying to shift to 5 a.m. because every time I go a half hour earlier, it's like a whole new part of my morning routine is not rushed.
Yes, I'm at 5 a.m.
Okay. All right. Well, then you're my mentor on this.
What daylight savings time? I'm now at 4 a.m. But yes, I'm up really, really early, and I like it. Now, the flip side of that is at 9:30 or even 8:30 or 7:30, I'm really no good to anyone. Yeah. So when people want to have dinner meetings with me, I often try not to because I'm tired. But if you want to talk to me at 5 a.m., I'm good to go.
Yeah, no, that's good. It works well for me because I'm usually, well, not usually, but I'd like to be frequently West Coast. So therefore 5 a.m. calls work for the East Coast, but often
that's
right. Last question. Survival hack for life on the road, because I know you travel as much as I do. Anything that helps make that more livable for you?
Well, I have decided that whenever I'm on airplanes, there are three things that are in my, carry-on. One is Dramamine, because I still get motion sickness no matter how long I've been in this job now 11 years. I travel a lot and I still get sick on airplanes. So I've got to have Dramamine, but I take the non-drowsy formula because I want to actually be productive while on the plane. I take my own food because I'm trying to be much better eater and not eat the Doritos that are available in the airport and all those other things. And the third thing is a set of headphones. And the headphones are good for lots of reasons. One, I can listen to audibles. I can listen to music. I might watch a video or something. But even if I don't do any of that, it drowns out the person next to me who might be snoring.
Good. Do you use the Bose noise canceling? Is that what? Yeah, right. Everyone. I would like to talk to someone who has purchased the new ones to know if there's actually any difference, because they just look fancier. They look like.
Well, yeah, I actually have on my list of things for the after Thanksgiving sales to buy a new one. I'm hoping somebody should have something on sale for me.
For new headphones?
Yeah.
So have I given you this tip that if you can, buy them at Nordstrom or Costco?
Oh, okay.
Because the warranty will wear out at some point, but both of those companies have lifetime, you can return anytime if it does go wrong. Because I've had too many high-tech purchases that are sold at Nordstrom that I buy somewhere else, and then it turns out like 1 week after the warranty or the technology support ends, that it's gone.
Okay, good to know.
Would love if someone would try the new once the new iPhone or the AirPods that are noise canceling. Like, are those as awesome as they seem?
I haven't gotten that far. I still have the old iPhone headphones. Still old school there.
That's good. No, actually, that's right. So the thing that I'm always looking for the answer for is because I'm always on conference calls. What is the best headset that is Bluetooth and I can hear well, but people can hear me? Like, I almost need like the Madonna mic walking through an airport so that it's not always picking up everything else.
That's right.
Yeah, I once went on an internet wormhole search, and the only things that came up that would meet my needs were gaming headsets or trucker headphones. So those are apparently the only no one's ever thought, people just spend their time on conference calls. Maybe they just need a conference call headset. So
hey, you know what? Maybe we should put this idea into the universe and figure it out.
Let's manifest it. Okay, well, thank you so much. It's such a delight to see you, and not like neither of us had to get on a plane, which is amazing. Yeah. For folks who want to learn more about IHEP or who want to reach out and just tell you how awesome you are or give some support, how should folks connect with you? Is it on Twitter or?
Yeah, so you can certainly follow us at our Twitter handle, which is IHEP, IHEP tweets. Very easy.
In the thing, so it should actually, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Okay, so our Twitter handle is one way. We also have our website, which is www.ihep.org, and you can always just email me. My email address is president@ihep.org, and I get a lot of emails, but I respond to all of them as soon as I can, which might not be the same day, just to be honest.
No, I understand that. I stopped handing out business cards a few years ago because I found that there was a statistically significant relationship between business cards and emails. But I think that was sending the wrong message. So that is the right message. Email me and get through it. All right. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Bridget.
Everyone else has enjoyed this conversation, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.